So it's September again, and I guess that means I gotta do another month of musicals, 'cause it's musical March in September? What? I get it. Musical and March can kind of go together, but it ain't March, it's September. That must be the joke.
In the hit sequel to Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta dances his way to the New York stage.
Guess what? I got a job on Broadway. Way to go, Monero!
But a sizzling affair with a beautiful dancer sparks a bitter romantic triangle.
I can't always be second choice.
You're not.
I am, and you know I am.
But we did it. Don't mean nothing to you.
We met, I liked you, we made it. What do you think it was? True love. Everybody uses everybody. Don't.
What you have is anger and a certain intensity, and that's what I need to make this show work.
Everybody uses everybody, don't they?
Cynthia Rhodes and Finola Hughes co-star in this electrifying dance spectacle directed by Sylvester Stallone, Staying Alive.
Saturday Night Fever was not only a cultural phenomenon, but is often regarded as one of the best films of the 1970s. Gene Siskel would later call it his favorite movie, and it's also one of the favorite movies of this guy who likes to talk in cars. The film made John Travolta a movie star, gaining him an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. It was the story of Tony Manero, a 19-year-old working a dead-end job whose problems involving unsupportive parents and gang violence are forgotten when he spends his nights as the king of the dance floor. 6 years later, a sequel was then made by writer-director Sylvester Stallone, and it was nominated for some awards. I won't say which ones yet. A sequel to Saturday Night Fever doesn't seem like it would be too bad of an idea when the ending of the first film not only shows Tony's reality come crashing down on him and other people's idolizing perception of an asshole like Tony smashing them in the face, it is worth wondering whatever became of this guy. Even the poster says Tony Manero knows the old days are over, but nobody's gonna tell him he can't feel good again. Shown with a picture that makes it look like he's about to receive a hand job by someone wearing spiked gloves. Here's how you know the movie's in trouble. The title comes from the hit Bee Gees song Stayin' Alive. You hear that? Stayin' alive! Not staying alive! Stayin' alive! There's no G in this disco dojo! Once again, produced by Robert Stigwood, the logos here are indicative of his producing career. The lights look like they're starting to go out. Saturday Night Fever is not just a great film, but a time capsule of the disco days of 1977. What's Staying Alive a time capsule of? Movies that just sort of made you want to watch Fame instead. It's 6 years later and Tony is still swatting flies out of his hair. The movie's title just jumps at the screen like it should be on the back of a rhinestone jacket. Which reminds me, fuck you, Rhinestone! Look, folks, if you're not gonna look at these freeze frames of tits and ass, then Travolta is gonna do it for you. We get it, Tony, you're straight. Somehow I thought Clarence Boddicker auditioning members of his heist team would be a lot more Paul Verhoeven and less Bob Fosse. At least they're taking their dancing medication, you know, nicotine. Some of these freeze frames are just awkward. Oh no, he's been shot. Oof, what do I do about this rash? A mouse! Either he's been shot again or he's the poster for Platoon. Staying Alive also features more songs by the Bee Gees. They're the ones you don't own on 8-track. That's right, I own the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack on 8-track. You have my permission to think I'm cool now. While Sylvester Stallone handles directing duties this time around, he does co-write the script with the original film's writer, Norman Wexler, and we know Stallone has never been the type to change a script. Too bad Wexler never gave us a sequel to one of his other movies, you know, Mandingo. Oh wait, there is a sequel to Mandingo. Why the hell is there a sequel to Mandingo? Whatever, drum probably doesn't have any Frank Stallone music, so not interested. You can tell by the way he uses his walk, he failed the audition. So now Tony moves on to his next audition, starring in Perfect alongside Jamie Lee Curtis. This is Tony's main squeeze, Jackie, another struggling dancer slash actress.
What happened?
Typical.
What do you mean?
I turned them down.
Yeah, once again, the role went to Richard Gere. Tony spends some of his time teaching dancing. No, you're doing it all wrong. You gotta get in a fight with the Barracudas, and then you enter the dance competition. Tony goes back to his apartment located at 210 Fan Service Lane. The hell? Did David Dakota temporarily take over for Stallone? Am I watching 1313 Staying Alive? My feeling is that Tony definitely needs an agent.
Any messages?
Except for this one from Robert Stigwood, but don't take it. Tony's night job is as a club waiter, where I'm guessing he serves drinks with his dick. Holy fuck, Magic Mike doesn't carry that much sausage. While he may not be dancing, he's still got a way with the ladies.
You know why I order so many drinks?
Because you're an alcoholic.
No, because I love to watch her walk.
Seriously, she's a hardcore alcoholic. She's gonna fall asleep later that night in a dumpster, making love to a bag of used diapers. This isn't the Tony I'm used to. Why isn't he being as good in bed as he is on the dance floor?
Want to come over?
The last time I came over, I almost got brain damage. You guys party too hard. You gotta be a tag team.
Meh, once you've had sex and moment by moment, you kinda lose your taste for it. But walking down the street, that he can still do.
Anyone can be a star. Brighter than the light.
Oh my god, he just met Alfred Hitchcock! I kinda get the feeling about what this movie is. It's less a continuing adventure of Tony Manero and more Sylvester Stallone using Tony Manero as a means to tell his own life stories on screen. Hence young Tony / Sly bumping into famous Tony / Sly while the song Breakout plays and Tony goes on a bunch of dead-end acting auditions handing out headshots. Even Stallone himself said that his reason for not taking a major role in the film is because Tony already is him on screen.
Except for nudity, I promised my mother I'd never do any nudity. I guess she's afraid that I might get a cold or something, huh?
And thus Tony Manero's mom sobbed repeatedly when he was then cast in A Party at Kitty and Studs. That night he goes to see Jackie's show, which is that cross between Xanadu and Nell that Tony has apparently always dreamed of. Ooh. Even though that lasted for 4 hours, the Danny and Army musical review is a huge success. Tony then does what any Tony Manero would do. He congratulates his girlfriend and then tries banging someone else.
Hi.
Yes?
Will you enter a dance competition with me? I may try to rape you in a car afterwards. On second thought, maybe that line won't work.
I'd like to get together with you and maybe talk sometime. Would that be possible?
About what?
About how incredible you are.
Thank you, but I do already know that.
Say what?
You've never used the term "say what" in your life, have you? This is Laura, the star of the show, and Tony tries impressing her by noticing that she's from England. He knows where countries are this time around. Unfortunately, she just saw two of a kind. Hey, give it another shot. What's the harm?
What'd you do that for? You nearly broke my face with the store. I'm giving you my best come-ons and you try to mangle my face.
What the fuck? At least she didn't touch your hair. You did work on it all night. This actually works better, and Tony finds out about a new audition. One that he already knew about.
Well, did you know that I was going to have an audition here tomorrow?
I told you that a week ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
God damn it, wasn't the ending of the first one all about Tony working hard to try to be friends with a woman? I don't know how well those lessons paid off.
Oh, come on, Jackie. I'm not trying to make you jealous. I think you're a good dancer.
I mean, you're not great, but you're okay. Can you get me Laura's phone number? Since the opening credits didn't show up for this audition, maybe they can get through the routine without a bunch of freeze frames.
Hi, I'm Joy.
I'm Happiness.
You! Out! Luckily, it's a couple's audition. Tony Manero and his 13-inch dick. Afterwards, Tony goes to hit on Laura in a spot where Alex and the Droogs previously beat up a homeless man.
I'd have to cancel my meeting with the mayor.
And then I'd have to cancel my yoga class.
It's all right. I have to cancel my brain operation.
Is one of you gonna cancel your class on being an awkward close talker? Tony and Laura spend a nice day together while another Bee Gees song plays. But it's not Night Fever, so I don't care.
Over you is where I should be. I could be loving you too much.
Actually, that song's pretty good too. His motives then become clear. He steals her fucking purse, and yet they still end up at her fancy apartment.
Oh, come on. You'd have to work like 10 shows in order to afford this.
Her fancy apartment only costs $50? Well, at least the bedroom audition was a success. He's gotta call his girlfriend in the middle of the night and tell her all about his date. He waits around to receive a call about the show while practicing his murder face. Good news is he got the part. Bad news, it's for the experts. Julie Bovasso returns as Tony's mother. Let's get some of that Saturday Night Fever magic back in here.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm fine. Okay.
Gee, thanks for that. Could you at least bring up Father Frank? That might make her cry. Then again, we do get another Frank, who is a brother in this. Damn, this bar is hopping, which it should be. It's Dollar Frank Stallone night. If bars came with their own Frank Stallone, I might actually go to karaoke night. And of course, Tony sleeps with anyone under the sun, but gets jealous when anyone makes eyes at Jackie.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know, I just don't like guys. They get no respect from me, you know?
Oops, someone switched out Tony's dance tapes with Rodney Dangerfield's stand-up.
One of my problems, you know, I don't get no respect. No respect at all.
He even gets rejected again by Laura, who has a date with Count Dracula. And here we have another dancing montage. Even Kenny Loggins looks displeased by this. What the hell play is this again?
For those who forgot, the show's called Satan's Alley. It's a journey through hell that ends with an ascent to heaven.
The fuck? That sounds like some smartass's negative review of Grease. Laura doesn't seem too eager to sleep with Tony again, so shoving her around a bit will help.
Who do you think you're dealing with? Some little groupie that jumps when you call? Is that who you think I am? We met, I liked you, we made it. What do you think it was? True love. And you think I used you? What about you using me? Everybody uses everybody.
And the only play that his 13-inch dick was worth was Satan's Alley? That should get at least one performance of Hair. Well, at least this gave Michael McDonald his inspiration for I'll Be Over You. So what comes next in the movie? That's right, more group dancing. You can see all of these parallels with Saturday Night Fever. Sure, the dancing is there, and Tony's relationship with Jackie and his flirtation with Laura is not unlike his relationships with Annette and Stephanie, but unfortunately the character arcs, dialogue, and emotions are replaced with people just looking jealous at each other. It's a very harmless film, and that's the problem. It's harmless. This movie is about as gritty as a dry sweatband. Even Tony and Laura's fight seems to have been completely forgotten, when in the next scene, she invites him to a party, and he still hasn't gotten a proper agent.
You know, I don't care if I ever get a message.
Are you sure? It's some guy named Tarantino talking about some Pulp Fiction movie. On the plus side, while at the party, Tony Crockett found his tubs. Again, this mimics Tony's relationship with a slightly more sophisticated Stephanie in Saturday Night Fever, only if all of their scenes were just Tony looking pissed off. And who invited James Brolin as George Lutz? There's gonna be a lot of tall tales at this party. Standing out here on the balcony, overlooking the city, just imagine how much better movies there are being filmed right now. And if she doesn't like Tony, why did she invite him?
I invited you here tonight because in a way I thought you were interesting.
So what?
Let's forget for a second that Tony sort of comes across like a stalker and how many angry looks he gives her, and that he never leaves her side.
If nothing else comes of this, at least you'll have an interesting chapter for your diary. You know the way out. Merry Christmas.
Oh shit, it's Christmas? He's got to get his mother a new church hat. Tony leaves, and I realize that Dirty Dancing is a better Cynthia Rhodes movie, but she doesn't have to audition for it right in the middle of Staying Alive. Though she is right, I would rather be watching her in Flashdance instead. The look of a man who's settling. Jackie is sad that Tony's late for her show, but in his defense, he did just take down an incredibly deadly drug cartel. She's just now realizing that he treats her like shit.
Do you know how many times you've done this to me? I love you so much, Tony. Don't you know that?
Why? Damn, rejected by 2 women in the same night. Feel the hearts breaking and everybody's shaking. Life's going nowhere and nobody's helping. He walks by the old Odyssey disco, and with Stallone writing it, a ghost is gonna tell him to dance, you son of a bitch, because Mickey loves ya. Tony has another scene with his mom in the only scene that really does feel like a sequel to Saturday Night Fever, in which Tony tries to make amends for all the assholey things he's done in the past. Granted, it's weird that Laura dumping him gave him this realization, and not Annette being raped or Bobby committing suicide. The scene is even kind of funny when his mom tells him it's okay to be a bastard, cause that's what got him out of the house. Just like I shouldn't apologize for being an asshole. It's what made me popular on the internet. He should apologizing for forgetting her Christmas present. And then it goes from Saturday Night Fever and back to Staying Alive with more dancing montages. Alright, Barry Gibb, stay behind the scenes and quit groping the actresses. And quit looking jealous, Tony. I thought you were past that. And thus Tony and Jackie form the band Roxette. With his newfound non-assholishness, Tony desperately tries to make it up to Jackie.
Look, I know I treat you bad, and I know I got terrible manners, but the people I grew up with had terrible manners. After a while, you gotta notice some of this rubs off on you.
Forget it, Tony. That excuse didn't work for Heinrich Himmler, and it ain't working for you either. Tony comes up with a plan to take over the lead role of Satan's Alley from, I don't know, some guy who's hardly a character in this film. At least I assume he's wanting to take over for Satan's Alley. Either that or he's trying to take Jim Cotta away from Kurt Thomas. Perhaps it's the dancing which will bring them back together, and not Tony's lines.
I want to say something to you, but it's really hard because I'm just not used to saying nice things to you, that's all.
So I'm just gonna call you a dumb cunt. Sure enough, the next day, Tony makes his move to be the new star. Look, your dick isn't big enough, kid. We need to put Tony's dick in instead. Haha, this guy has been ready since day one for his spandex off. But Tony can't simply take over the lead in Satan's Alley. He needs a good kick in the balls first.
What do you think? You're so terrific you're gonna go out and you're gonna score another show? Is that it? The best thing that you ever scored in your whole life is Laura. But you even blew that because you got too heavy with her.
Carl Wilson from the Beach Boys is right. If he ended up with Laura, she could have paid him so much money after the divorce. By the way, this is what Travolta needs to do next time he presents with someone at the Oscars. Let Twitter go nuts for months. Apparently, Satan's Alley is just dancing montages. That's all the movie is. They are most certainly showing the fever into the fire, taking it higher and higher. God damn, this movie ends one montage just to go into another montage. Even Rocky IV would say, yo, enough with the montages. These montages take forever, just a minute at a time. It looks like the dancers' batteries are about to explode. At least Satan's Alley looks to be bringing in better numbers than that Superman musical. Unique New York, unique New York, unique New York. We ready for another Stallone touch?
Hey, yo, Adrian, showtime!
Did he just say, yo, Adrian, showtime? Oh, thank you to leave the Rocky references to people reviewing this movie 32 years later. The show is about to get started, so might as well get in some last-minute advice from Steve Inwood from Fame. Wait a minute. That is Steve Inwood from Fame. Tony's mom is in the audience, and originally there was also a cameo from Donna Pascal's Annette from Saturday Night Fever, but her scene was cut, presumably because they didn't want you to think too much about how much better the previous film is. Well, the practicing was lame. What's the actual show like? What the fuck? Is he gonna get mauled by a tiger on stage? Why didn't I see him practicing this? Never mind music from Frank Stallone and the Bee Gees. Why isn't Driller doing the music? Good lord, they took the island of Capri scene from Caligula and made a fucking musical out of it. Tony lives among the creatures of the night. He hasn't got the will to try and fight. Please tell me there's more. Again, what the fuck? I don't know what's happening here, but I do know it's gonna be very dated. I've now seen the inside of Dante's Inferno, and each level is scored by Andrew Lloyd Webber. This is just like the end of Saturday Night Fever, if it were directed by John Derek as an allegory for losing virginity. This is the closest a PG-rated film has ever come to being straight-up porn. Well, kinda. After Tony ad-libs a kiss, Laura scratches him in the face because why not audition for Cats right now? Seems rather appropriate. Ooh, how's he gonna explain this to Jackie?
Listen, can I ask you something?
What?
Why'd you have to kiss her?
Oh, God. That didn't mean nothing.
Well, so, he hasn't changed. You know you're seeing a truly wonderful live show when part of it is in slow motion. Satan's Alley proves that you can mud wrestle with no mud. When you take out all the slow motion and put it in regular speed, is the play only 5 minutes long? This is the musical version of Don't Go Near the Park that we didn't know that we needed. Meanwhile, backstage, they gotta put on their Larry Fine as Catwoman hats? The next part got off to a slow start since Elizabeth Berkley pushed Gina Gershon down the stairs. Why isn't this the entire movie? Stallone missed his true calling, fucking with Broadway audiences. And now they're going to perform a human sacrifice on stage? This is starting to remind me of a certain trailer for another bad sequel. Are they going to ascend into heaven now? This is the weirdest play that Joey Tribbiani ever starred in. Entertainment Weekly called Staying Alive the worst sequel ever made, and it even has a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. All of that is taking away from the fact that this shit needs to be seen to be believed. Staying Alive may be a 0, but Satan's Alley is clearly 100.
Tommy, what are you doing? Put me down!
The play even has trick camera work to go along with its bloopers? The fuck is going on here? This should have been the opening play in The Gallows. I would have understood a deadly accident here.
Come on! I can't! Jump! Jump, damn it, jump! Come on!
Yes, jump, goddammit, jump! I have a feeling someone is gonna die on stage.
Say what?
Well, have fun doing that show for the rest of your life, Tony. The reviews are in. Every Broadway critic has now seen the face of God. And if you think the ending to Satan's Alley is good, well, Stallone is gonna one-up that by making the movie's ending even better.
You know what I want to do?
What? You know what I want to do?
What?
Wait for it.
Strut.
Because sometimes you just gotta walk along with music that isn't really there and leave your girlfriend behind at the theater. Seriously, he just left her there. Is he going back? And what does this look like if you're not hearing the music in Tony's head? Lame! Bring Bee Gees back. Ah, just like the opening of Saturday Night Fever, only with significantly more ass and significantly more dick. That doesn't even prepare us for the biggest twist of all. He's a ghost! God damn it, he's been a ghost this entire time! And it should have been obvious, only angels can bring us something as magical as Satan's Alley. Anyway, back to hating this movie. I just don't know if I can. I mean, sure, staying alive, but Satan's Alley! What is the deal with this movie? Staying Alive is often cited among the list of Travolta's bombs before his big comeback in 1994. Here's the thing, though. Staying Alive wasn't a bomb. Sure, it was panned by critics, received a handful of Razzie nominations, but the film was one of the top-grossing movies of 1983 and brought in $64 million against a $22 million budget. How the hell does someone receive a Razzie nomination at one point and an Oscar nomination at another point for playing the same character? Whatever. Travolta went through 2 years of physical training and was in the best shape of his life in this movie. I don't know what got a better workout, his biceps or his dick. But if they wanted to capture the nit and grit and realism of Saturday Night Fever, then they failed. What in the hell was their point in making this movie to begin with?
Can you believe that Rocky Balboa and Tony Manero, the two dumbest people in the history of cinema, now together for the first time to form the dumbest, worst film of all time? Okay.
What? I'm sorry, can I hear that again?
Now together for the first time to form the dumbest, worst film of all time. Okay.
The hell, they intended to make a stupid movie? Well, how the fuck am I supposed to hate on it now if it wasn't even supposed to be gritty? Is that what Stallone was trying to do? Troll the goddamn audience? I don't know if he had to use Saturday Night Fever for his little joke, but apparently it worked. The movie is known for being bad and stupid, which apparently was the point. Just a couple guys getting together and being dumb? You know what I feel like doing? You know what I feel like doing right now? Sitting here and looking angry. And watching John Travolta and Frank Stallone out badass each other.
Sorry, is everything all right?
Everything is fine. She's in good hands.
Hey, what are you, Allstate, pal?
Yeah, you want disability?
Look, I'll see you Wednesday, okay?